but sometimes people feel privatisation's led to bills going up but profit going out. So I think there's a real opportunity to look again about how some of these fundamentals of life work in our economy.
Welcome. The UK has a debt problem. Its national debt is closing in on the size of its economy. How will Andy Burnham pay for his promises?
There's loads of excitement in the UK at the moment with the new Prime Minister taking over. The challenge for Andy Burnham is the same as the challenge for the Keir Starmer, which is getting growth in the economy. We're investing a record £120 billion in fixing our infrastructure, building schools, building hospitals. That will create jobs. So for me, the real challenge for the government is if we can get growth in the economy, and we've had the fastest growing growth in the G7 of nations, but focusing on growth and living standards, they're the key challenges facing this new government.
Bond markets seem to be concerned though. 10 and 30-year yields rose past 5% after Andy Burnham's first speech outside Number 10 earlier this week. What can be read into the surprise appointment of the former Defence Secretary John Healey as Chancellor of the Exchequer? We know that he wants to increase military spending. Is he going to push fiscal boundaries?
The Prime Minister's been very clear that the new government's going to stick to the same fiscal rules that Rachel Reeves, the previous Chancellor, set. I think it's a really good sign for the markets that John Healey is a safe pair of hands. He's been a serious player in government in many roles, including the Treasury. And even at his time at the Defence Minister, he knew that you've got to pay for the investment we need to make to build up our military.
He's going to have to find some funds, though, for military spending and to pay for that energy tax cut. The suggestion that it is going to be made up by the cancellation of the digital ID program has been dismissed by some, saying that program was unfunded.
Well, look, a new government is about priorities, and the government's decided that helping families get some breathing space with energy bills, which I imagine would be the same in Australia as it is back home for me in the United Kingdom, that's the priority for the government. So we're going to cancel the digital ID programme, put the money into helping families with their electricity bills over the coming months. But you're absolutely right. The challenge for any government, and particularly any NATO government, is how do we invest in our defence? We know after many years of not investing in our defence, we've got to build that up again. There's going to be some real choices for this government to make, and as a Member of Parliament I'll be taking part in deciding which spending we put in to build those military defences up.
Is it clear that the UK government is going to stick with AUKUS?
I believe our work with Australia and other partners is really critical. We live in a really insecure world, and the partners we have, whether that's in Australia, Canada or other parts of the world, is really important to those of us in the UK. What
did the new Prime Minister mean when he said he will re-industrialise Britain?
The British economy has been top-sided for too long. In places like I represent in Peterborough in the Midlands, it used to be the industrial heart of England. We've seen old industry disappear, and we haven't made enough about how we make stuff in the United Kingdom. This is what's really important about things like defence. It's not just about investing in our defences or buying kit. It's about saying clearly, if we're going to invest in new kit, we do it with our partners, but we make more of it in the United Kingdom.
And so is Andy Burnham also talking about more government ownership of privatised assets?
We're definitely talking about giving the public greater control over things that matter, things for the public good. So the government has already taken control back again of our railways and nationalised our railways, but big public utilities like our water system, where the public are fed up of rising costs but pollution going up at the same time, we know we've got to fix that. And I think there's a real appetite now to look not just at privatisation bad, nationalisation good, but look at new different types of options like mutualisation or turning things into cooperatives.
Andy Burnham was the country's first Labour and Co-operative MP. Now he is the party's first PM. What role will cooperatives and mutual societies play in his 10-year plan?
The new Prime Minister's talked about rewiring power in our economy so that people have a greater say over things. The issue of big utilities like the water companies and electricity companies are, we all need them. We all need water to drink, we all need energy to power our houses, but sometimes people feel privatisation's led to bills going up but profit going out. So I think there's a real opportunity to look again about how some of these fundamentals of life work in our economy. The co-op movement, the cooperative and mutual sector in the United Kingdom, is worth nearly £180 billion. It employs 1.5 million people. This is big business in the United Kingdom, and we're looking at how we can work together to create a kind of purpose-driven economy, and using the example of Manchester, which is the birthplace of the co-op movement in the world, see how we can build more businesses that put people first and are based and embedded in our communities.
You are in Australia to talk about cooperatives and mutuals. What opportunities do you see here to further advance this economy?
I think there's a real common heritage and language between Australia and the United Kingdom. Our politicians and our families, our communities love finding out about each other's countries. So it's really good to come here and listen and learn. I've already met politicians in the New South Wales government. I'll be meeting national politicians in days to come. In the UK, for instance, we're really advanced when it comes to retail cooperatives, so supermarkets which are owned by their members. We've also got really big building societies, so the biggest lender of mortgages to families in the United Kingdom is a mutual owned building society. But I also know in Australia you're more advanced on things like agricultural co-ops. Farmers in Australia work together a lot more than they do in co-ops in the United Kingdom. Plus you've got some really interesting examples of social care, the kind of looking after older people or vulnerable people, doing that not for profit, not by the state, but bringing care cooperatives into place. I think there's going to be some really good lessons for me to take back to the new Prime Minister.
Andrew Pakes, good to speak to you.
Thank you.